What is going on, Screen Watcher Nation? We are back for another Christmas movie review. This time we're jumping all the way back to 1989, but before we get into what movie that is and the review itself, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Shh, they're about to start the movie.
Okay, so jumping into the review of this Christmas classic. If you guessed that we are doing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, you guessed correctly. It came out in 1989 and has been a classic and pretty much a Christmas staple, at least in my family, every single year since then. Came out the year after I was born, so it is an oldie but still a goodie, and it does kind of hold up to the test of time when it comes to comedy and things like that. But before I get into my review, let's jump into the cast. The cast list is actually pretty long because the main characters are pretty much in the movie the whole entire time. There's not a ton of secondary and tertiary characters in the movie, but going off with the main family, the Griswolds themselves, you have Chevy Chase, who plays Clark Griswold. You would know him from SNL. You would know him from Caddyshack. You would know him from Community. He was on Community for a very, very long time. Beverly D'Angelo plays Ellen Griswold. You would know her from the show Entourage, the movie American History X, which is a great movie, a little violent, but good movie altogether. Juliette Lewis plays their daughter, Audrey. You would know her from Natural Born Killers, again, another violent movie, but, and then she's in the TV show right now, The Conners, and then you'd also know her from Old School. Then you have Jonathan Gyuki. He plays Rusty Griswold. You would know him from The Big Bang Theory. Obviously, he's been with them the entire time, and you would also know him from Roseanne back in the day. John Rudolph plays Clark Sr., so Clark Griswold's father. He comes into town. You know him from You've Got Mail and Serpico. You have Diane Ladd, who plays Nora Griswold, so Clark's mother. You would know her from Joy, just a couple of years ago, and Wild at Heart. You have Clark's in-laws, E.G. Marshall, who plays Art. You would know him from 12 Angry Men and Superman 2, where he plays the president. You have Doris Roberts, who plays Frances. That'd be Clark's mother-in-law. So Frances, but Doris you would know from Everybody Loves Raymond. She plays the mother in that show. And Grandma's Boy, which is a very, very funny, rude comedy. And then rounding off here, what I wanted to show was Randy Quaid. He plays Cousin Eddie. You would know him from Independence Day and Kingpin are my two most famous movies that I can think of that he's been in. And then you have Miriam Flynn, who is Cousin Catherine, Eddie's wife. You would know her mainly from the different vacation movies. She was in Vegas Vacation, she was in Vacation, she was in this movie, obviously, so she's been around. A lot of these stars, like Beverly D'Angelo and Chevy Chase and Randy Quaid, have been in several of the different vacation movies, but Audrey and Rusty tend to get swapped out a lot. They didn't keep the same child actors as they grew up. They tended to swap different actors in and out of those roles. But getting into the movie themselves, the movie is basically one man, Clark Griswold, trying to put on the absolute best Christmas that he possibly can for his family. He has taken over Christmas duties for his family, not only his kids, but his parents and his in-laws. And so he goes way above and beyond anybody's expectations, any realistic expectations, really. And he covers the house in lights and wants everything to be perfect. And that leads him pretty much to have a mental breakdown. And hilarity ensues after that. That's about the entire plot of the movie, is really just everything that could possibly go wrong during a Christmas holiday goes wrong, and it's phenomenally funny. It's an extremely quoted movie in my household. There are some phenomenal one-liners. There are great rants and raves that Chevy Chase goes on in this movie. Beverly D'Angelo plays the wife who is supportive but also thinks her husband's insane character extremely well. The kids, both Jonathan Gaecki and Juliette Lewis, I thought played their characters very well, despite being child actors at the time. The in-laws and the parents played their parts well. There is a Murray brother in this movie as well. I didn't want to list him just because the list is so long, but Cousin Eddie is one of my favorite characters. Randy Quaid nailed the insanity that he is supposed to bring to the table. So there's just so many iconic scenes from this movie that go down into the lore of Christmas movies that I honestly can't imagine going from December into January, like the middle of January, without watching this movie at least once. A lot of people have seen it on television, which is not the best way to watch it. Yes, it is kind of rude. There is some swearing. There is some lewd comments and things like that. But it makes it so much more funny. They use it as a tool to make the movie much more funny. It's not just cursing for the sake of cursing. It's cursing for the sake of comedy, and it's used in order to make the film better. So I would say go and buy it. Target usually puts out a set of Christmas movies that you can go peruse through at this time of year, so you'd probably find it there. It's probably pretty cheap. It's only going to come in DVD because it came out in 1989. There was no other way to film it. So that's my review of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, especially when it comes to a holiday movie. But what did you think about it? Have you seen it? Let me know in the comments down below. If you haven't seen it, go out and see it and let me know what you thought about it after. That's what I would love for y'all to do. But other than that, hopefully your popcorn is always fresh. Hopefully you enjoy your day at the cinema, whether it is out at your local theaters or in your home theater. Have a wonderful holiday season. I know Hanukkah has already started, but Christmas is coming up as well. So other than that, this is the Screen Watcher. Thank you very, very much for stopping by today, and I will talk to you all later.